Hello?
Yo, why the hell is it so dark?
Because Electro is here.
That's right, guys. We're here with a review of The Amazing Spider-Man 2, so let's get to it.
This program is brought to you in part by Nestle Pure Life. Enjoy life.
So, Pat, what did you think about the acting?
Acting. I thought it was an overall pretty decent job by the actors, considering it was an action movie and not something that required a bit more like acting. There were some cheesy moments, but you can never tell if it's the actors or if it's the producers or directors or whatever. So yeah, I'd say they did a pretty decent job.
Yeah, I'd have to agree on your points, and on that cheesy point, I mean, at the beginning they made a lot of what I thought was borderline unnecessary comedy, but it really depends on who you are. I think it definitely could have some appeal. But I also like to say that the acting by whoever played Harry Osborn did a pretty good job.
Yeah, to comment on your first part, I feel like that's the general vibe that the new Spider-Man actor, Andrew Garfield, brings to the board. Like, as we saw in the first movie, there were a lot of, comedy scenes, and I feel like that changes the vibe completely from Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man. So, yeah, and also on the villain, yeah, he was, pretty cool, and you could tell that he was, sort of like a villain and not, an evil guy.
Yeah.
So, let's get on to,
Our next segment.
Alright, Justin, why don't you tell us a bit about the visuals?
Yeah, I'd have to say that the visuals were pretty good. I mean, we saw an IMAX, so I don't know if you guys would get the same experience, but for me it was a pretty good experience, and shout out to our boy Mo Money for hooking us up. Yeah, but what I found really interesting was the almost first-person view of Spider-Man when he's swinging with his webs. I found that to be pretty cool. You really get the sensation. You almost get the sensation like you're free falling like he is at sometimes.
Yeah, I was speaking with some friends before watching the movie, and that's one of the things they talked about. Is in the first movie they liked how they saw Spider-Man falling and webbing from first-person point of view. So I'd say that's one big plus. Also, I liked how the fights, they were pretty cool, but the only thing is I thought there was at sometimes a little too much unnecessary slow motion. That was a bit hard to watch, but besides that, it was really cool.
Well, I don't really know too much about the slow motion part, but I could understand. I mean, some people notice it more than others, I guess.
Yeah.
So, Pat, how'd you find the plot?
Alright, now here's my real problem with the
Oh,
movie.
here he goes.
Okay, so I hated the movie. Okay, I have to explain myself correctly. The movie as a movie was decent, but I really hated it because I had really high expectations. I had really high expectations for the movie, how they pumped us with all the trailers and shit. And I don't know, I really liked the first one, so I was really looking forward to the second one. But I got really let down because one, the movie was pretty long, but there were practically no action scenes. Most of the scenes were just developing the relationship between Peter and Gwen, which I found was sort of appropriate, but they really should not have made it that long. I really had a problem. I was really bored during the movie because there's a really large point in between the main fight scenes where it's just Peter and Gwen having a fight. Come on, that's not what I came to see. And also I was really sad about Rhino because they released a special trailer just to show that Rhino was in the movie, but he ended up being in the last 2 minutes of the movie, and they ended the movie really weird because it was just Spider-Man starting to fight the Rhino and then just end it. And I don't know, I didn't like it. What do you think?
Well, I gotta say, I didn't really see too many of the trailers or anything like that, but I mean, on your point about The Amazing Spider-Man 1, I gotta say that's probably my favorite Spider-Man movie I've ever seen. And yeah, I mean, a lot of the points I'd have to agree with you. I found the movie, I guess the easiest comparable would be Iron Man 2. I mean, Iron Man 2, Like, I just felt like in the middle, just like there was a lot of things going on, but at the same time, nothing. Like, that guy, like, Iron Man fights off that dude, and then he comes back in the end movie, and it's kind of the same thing in this movie. I mean, Electro gets caught,
That's true.
and then, like, he only comes back at the end, and in the middle, it's kind of like a pseudo dead space, but I actually didn't mind it. I guess the worst thing for me was, like, the ending really bummed me out. I mean, if the ending didn't bum me out, I'd still be pumped to see the next one. I mean, I'll probably, if the next one comes out, like, great chance I'll see it. But right now, I'm just not in the mood, you know?
Yeah, for sure. Like, I would still see the third one. It's just... And I would still recommend to people to see the second one, just because that it's, you know, Spider-Man. But it disappointed me, like, the movie. Also, there was a part where Green... Well, I don't know if it's Green Goblin, but a goblin was in the movie. But they, like, introduced this character, and then they, like, shut him down, which was, you know, a bit weird, too. So, yeah. Overall, I'd say I have to be disappointed. And I'd probably give it maybe a 4 out of 10.
Man, I'm not feeling that mean today. I'll give it a 7.
Alright, guys. Thank you guys for watching. If you liked it, leave a like. If you want to comment, you can do so in the comment section below. If you want to see more, you can hit the comment. Yeah.
Yeah, what do you say?
Peace. Are you keeping that?
Yeah.
Okay.